Well, hello.
Hello, good afternoon from rainy Spain.
Rainy Spain. Well, I mean, a
Yes,
little rain is always necessary in spring, right?
yes it is.
You want to have some pretty flowers.
Hi. All right, so who is here, guys? Who is joining us today? Mary Cruz. S'mores. I like your I like your screen name. S'mores. I guess you are a fan of s'mores. Hello, it's Phoenix.
S'mores are
Oh, have
very
you
good.
seen movie Phoenix? I think it was called Phoenix about never mind, about the stranded group of pilots or something, workers in the desert. Okay, hi everyone. Hi Kathy, Mary Jean, New York City. How is everyone, guys?
Hello,
Hi
hello.
Sally,
Hello, everybody.
our
So
prolific creator.
I just checked, and Global Belly's sale is still on for St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, yes, guys, it is. So I wanted to bring up. We talk about Global Belly a lot, so I created, if I can find it, I created a little. So you can actually find Global Belly through my Instagram. If when you click, and I think Marley's as well. And
Yeah.
then you can find a tab that says Shop Haniela's Cookie Kits, and then you'll get directly to the shop. And I just released a couple of new kits there. You can always join my bake club, where you will get. This is a kit you'll get next month if you join bake club this month. I also released a new undecorated cookie decorating kit and cantaloupe cookies if you are a fan of food inspired cookies. And this is a buttercream kit that I have there. And I have lots and lots of kits there, even for holidays. So now, with the sale still going on, it's a good time to maybe look at the Halloween and Christmas ones, see all these houses, $20. Plus, with the sale, it's really a steal. So
Yeah.
you
20
can
bucks.
you can look it up through both of our. I think that's the easiest way, right, to look it up through the
Yeah, yeah,
Instagram. If you have
yeah.
Instagram, or just type in Global Belly Aniela's or Global Belly Montreal Confections. And Marlene has her wonderful kits there as well. You see all these.
Oh gosh, yes,
All
those
of
are
these,
Christmas, but there's
these are all the Christmas. So disregard the code there, but you look at all the Christmas ones. You can stack up on the Christmas ones and have them ready when the time comes, because we are only what 10 what's today 10 days
yeah,
from April. So guys, so it's coming up.
it
I
really
don't know
is.
what to hear you, but Christmas is coming up. So what's today? What's the plan for today? These look like lovely
So I'm just popping this on. So in my Facebook group, uh, a lady named Diana posted that her sister recently passed away, and they were doing a memorial for her,
very, very
and she wanted to
sorry.
make some cookies. Thank you, Mary Jean. You wanted to make some cookies for the event, which is always nice to you feel like you're kind of part of the healing process. I think if you can make things and kind of work through it. So I'm just going to show today how to make the little royal icing transfers for Diana so that she can make those cookies and you guys can learn how to. So I did create this template. I popped it into the Facebook group. I will put it in Patreon. So normally, well, what I've seen is people make them using a flower nail. So a flower nail is this.
Yeah,
And
that's how
so
I made it as well.
yeah, and so with this, you're able to kind of hold it in your hand and spin it, but you have to load it. So you're putting a little drop of icing like that on it to make it sticky. Then you place a little piece of parchment paper, then you pipe, then you take it off, then you have to redo it. And then you have all these little pieces of paper, which is fine, but this if you pipe right on the sheet, then you can kind of like put them away as a big sheet and you can work, I find, more quickly. You don't have that whole step to prep every kind of flour. So everybody has their process, but if you guys want to try this, you've probably used a flour nail. So this is a leaf tip, and the number on this one, does it have a number? I ordered it off AliExpress. It
Does,
has no number.
does it? It
Leaf
looks
tip.
quite small. Now,
It is small. So if you see, look, it looks like a beak, like a bird beak, you see?
mhm.
So you're holding the point on the top. And so the leaves are coming out, the leaf comes out kind of like on the side. So that's what forms the shape. So I'm just placing myself. So this will be the middle of the flower. A sunflower has a big middle. 352, Mary Jean. Okay, I trust you. And so you're just piping, and then you can pull away. So you do bursts of squeezing. And so if you're doing a sheet like this, well, whatever's at the good angle, you run through all the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll rotate once you've done your sheet. So you're positioning yourself to pipe. And you see, this is a stiff icing so that
What are you piping on, if I can ask?
this is a page protector.
Okay, so you have your template in a page protector, and you're piping on top of the page protector. So
That's
you could
right.
print several of these and have them, laying around, and then you do dozen, or I don't know how many you fit on a
Exactly.
plate.
So once you've done that direction, you can just rotate the sheet. It's tough here on the camera, but you can rotate the sheet and then run through what, obviously your hand has to be positioned a certain way for the certain petals. I think here, yeah. And you're rotating the whole sheet as opposed to rotating the nail in your hand. So if you have a lot to do, wedding season is coming. So if you make royal icing transfer flowers, I do find that this is quite fast, because once you get going and you're running through the sheet, you're just kind of piping, you can get them done. And so this is a stiff icing. You can see those petals, they're standing right up. This is a flower that is fragile if you're going to be packaging in bags. These raised up little points can break. So
You think this is 352? I think it's bigger than that. I don't think the opening was quite as big, but maybe I'm wrong.
And now once you've done that, you can come in and do a second row. And I like to stagger them between the other ones that you just did. So you can run through your sheet.
Hi, Camille.
And you rotate
no, that's not icing. This is embroidery, I think.
Okay. This is a royal icing.
The royal icing on the butterfly I have on my shirt. No.
Oh. Yes, wearing royal icing comes out in the wash. So I'm just like you see, but you do all the petals that you can kind of in the direction that you are, because your hand has to be a certain position for this to actually look.
How big are these?
So the round, on the sheet, there's a 2-inch over here, 2-inch circle, and this is 1.5 inches.
Oh, Karen, we are glad to have you back. Are you all unpacked?
Where am I here? It's tougher to align myself in.
And what's great about this, you could use this technique to create not just the sunflowers, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
It's.
So I'm just going to do this one here, and then I'll bring out my other sheet that I had done earlier. Okay, so you can see here, the flowers are kind of like dimensional. I made them so that they would be a little bit more kind of raised up. And here they are.
So these are dry?
These are dry-ish. I just did them not long ago. So I'm just going to airbrush the middles. So now this is another thing that's easier because they're all on one sheet, right?
Yeah. You don't want to airbrush them, and you don't want to remove them if you are, because I remember I did something similar and airbrushed them, and if you remove them from the backing, it's kind of, they can, I mean, depending on how big they are, they can fly off.
Yeah.
Is this brown or orange?
This is orange. So a faint misting. Don't go too hard on your trigger. The further up you are, the wider the circle of mist. So the closer you are, the more precise you get. So as I go up, it gives like a wider spray. It comes out like a triangle. Okay, so once you've got that done, and you can kind of decide how much orange you want. And then I'm using brown.
Oh, Angie, I hope you don't lose the power. bad weather, it's always causing some trouble, right? So Lynn is asking, Mar, do you prefer cordless over wired? I guess.
I do prefer my cordless. The wire doesn't kind of like, sometimes you can't go a certain way with the wire. Sometimes it'll knock other things down, you know, you can just kind of move it out of the way. And the compressor isn't as powerful, so you get less like spray all over your kitchen.
Do you have it listed in your Amazon shop, right?
Yeah.
So the brand of cordless, you don't know that from the top of your head.
It's not really a brand. It's like an AliExpress kind of a thing.
Okay.
They're all pretty much, I didn't see really any brands. If you see a brand, it's just somebody that's slapping their name on it. There's no brand. I haven't seen a brand. Like
So
the only
what's the
one who has a
cheapest-
brand is maybe Yada, but truthfully, like the ones that I've seen that have their name on the box is something that I've seen at AliExpress, very the same. They just had it customized. Like I know a company, they had them painted in their company color.
Mhm.
And you know, said, well, they just kind of packaged it, you know. So not to burst
So
any.
what's the consistency for the center?
So you want an icing that's relatively runny so that it'll sink and fill all the holes. Like, you know, like it's kind of like if you see the hole here, it's kind of all over the place. So it kind of can sink in and it levels in there and gives you a nice dome.
Do you prefer, Karen is asking, do you prefer single or dual action airbrushes?
I think the single is probably easier for somebody to use just right out of the box. The dual action does require a little bit more dexterity and so, you know, slightly more, you know, your brain has to be more participant in the task as opposed to just pull and the color comes out. You know what I mean? All right, so these guys here, let me place myself. So you can see that was pretty fast. And if you want, in that after you can pipe, like if you want, you can come in and just do some little dots in the.
Do you prefer piping tip? I don't know if I'm understanding the piping tip or bag. I don't know if I'm understanding.
I
Sorry.
think tipless is what they mean.
Mhm.
You know, the tipless I do like for the cleanup, but for precision piping, a piping tip and a piping bag is what's kind of like best if you're trying to. And then the other aspect of it, I find the tipless bags tough to wash. So if you want to reuse your stuff, probably the thicker gauge plastic with a tip is what's going to make that a little bit like easier, you know. So I'm just
Hello, yeah.
here.
How is it going? Oh, this is a nice touch. I like that very much.
So a lot of them sprinkle this middle with sanding sugar or different things, which can be nice as well. It gives it like a little bit of a different, sanding sugar gives a little bit of a glitter type look, right?
Yes, I've done sanding sugar. I also done started, but you have to use stiff icing.
Yes. And so this you
Very
can do
nice.
months in advance. If you are having a wedding, you know, this summer, and you know you want to have a lot of flowers, you can start now.
Yes, and so yes, actually yes. For years I've been using the words disposable and tipless interchangeably. Are the scenes different? Yes. Disposable usually are not disposable just mean right they come with I from my experience they are the thick ones and they don't have a nice seam from my experience and the tipless usually come with a better seam. What do you
Well, the disposable is it's just what really we've been using for so many years, right? It's like a thicker plastic. It's like
yeah
it's not a
that's what
yeah. It's like
that's what
so
I
here
have
they are.
actually right the tipless.
Yeah, and it's like a crunchy plastic. You can hear it. There's the
You
other
don't
one.
have this, there's the seam is pretty much non. There's no flap, so I like these a lot. These I like a lot, and they are thicker material as well. I don't have. This is another tipless that I have. I have several different ones, but I don't have the disposable one here on hand. But they're usually, from my experience, they're usually thicker
But
material.
I like them because I like to wash them out if I know,
Yes,
you know, I'm
I
going to
think
be
yes,
doing.
exactly.
So there they are.
Beautiful.
So STK, I don't really do cakes. So you're gonna have to watch another, another
You
live,
do, yeah, you do have a lot of cakes. She's very modest. She's done amazing cakes in the past.
but not on the lives.
Not during the lives. No, that would probably take a while.
So that's that for the royal icing transfers. So you can stack them gently if you like, you know, not more than 2 layers. You can put the sheets inside of like a, you know, you want to have them in a sealed box so they don't get dusty,
I
obviously.
usually use either paper or once they are dry, I put a couple layers of food wrap because it kind of like it's soft, and then I lay them on top. If you have a lot, like
Yes, exactly. That's it. You want to have to put
yeah.
them. If you know you're using them in not too much time, you can just leave them on the cookie sheet, I guess. So now to today's project. So that was just a
Oh,
little
little.
something for Diana there. Hopefully her cookie decorating goes smoothly. So today I'm working on a spring is coming. There's all kinds of events. There's a lot of birthdays. There's Mother's Day. There's Easter. So flowers are always a good option for these upcoming months,
It's
right?
also Father's Day. I'm thinking you could fill these with bolts and
You
nuts
could,
and bolts.
you could. Well, you could do what you did there. That was a cute one when you did the fireflies.
Oh yeah, I did the yes, I did. That was a long time ago.
So this is, I'm a fan of Sweet Sugar Bell's cutters. She makes very, very nice sets. So this is from her. I don't think this was actually in one of her big sets. This was probably an
I don't
individual.
think I have that. I don't think I have that. I have a lot of her cutters, but I don't think I have that. What's the other one? Where is that
So
from?
this is Anne Clark's. I just want to show you the size difference. I really like Callie's sizing. I find her sizing is for real, like consumption, you know, like the other ones are just that little bit big. So anyway, her sizing is excellent. And so there's the mason jar. And then this one is from one of her sets that she has that is like
Oh,
one
it's
of these
very nice.
bigger sets. And so for today, I cut the mason jar, set it aside, and then I cut 2 of these leaves. And then I used the actual cutter to trim one of the leaves. So then I had like these 2, and then I used the mason jar to trim. And I'm going to show you what it all gives at the end.
Very nice.
So you're just using those 3 cutters, and then you can create a puzzle like that. And then you get your kind of backdrop. So green cookies, leaves in the back, always kind of like set the stage for when you're going to put your flowers on. So I'm just going to quickly, I pre-recorded the mason jar. So this is the mason jar. So I didn't really see a mason jar platter in black outline. So the black outline just gives a more kind of cartoonish graphic look. And I did 2 colors, the same color, but in 2 shades. And you can see it's just to give it more of the look of glass, some reflection in it. And then while it's wet, I'm laying down the stems so that they sink and they look like they're kind of inside the jar. So that's that. Any questions here? Do I prefer? So there's 2 kinds of plastic. There's this kind of plastic that's fabricated like in a manufacturing facility, kind of the old type plastic. This is, I'd compare it to a resealable container type plastic. And recently there's a big amount of cutters that are the 3D printed plastic. That's a completely, like, it's plastic as well, but less durable. They're more fragile. If not printed properly, sometimes the dough can get like this literally separates.
I have that. If I had a cutter, it separates.
Yeah, and so the dough gets in there.
Yes.
Like
The
she
material
sells,
is not. Yeah, the material is kind of. I would say porous,
yeah.
almost like in a sense of like it will. It
But if
can.
you're printing your own cutters, a lot of people have the 3D cutters in their homes. It's fine. But if you're asking me like to purchase, look for this type of a plastic. The 3D cutters can be problematic if they don't go in the dishwasher. They're not really good even in hot water.
Yeah.
So just they're quite expensive too. I'm sometimes surprised by them.
One advantage is they don't rust
Yes.
as the metal ones.
You're right, Georgia. You're right.
Yes, you are. Yeah, I just saw that. Yes,
You're right.
Now, I wanted to ask if so the leaf shape. So if somebody doesn't have this particular leaf shape that you have, they could use a fall leaf shape because this reminds me of the
anything you have. That's why I'm showing it like this.
You could use
you guys
other
can
leaf
do.
shapes.
Yeah. So you just take whatever shape you have. You cut 2 leaves. You use the cutter to cut the hole in the other cookie, and then it'll fit perfectly. And then you can use the mason jar to cut the other hole.
So yes, this is icing, royal icing. Marlon is using royal icing. Annie is asking, I'm sorry, Angie. Sorry, Angie. What color did you use to get the glass look?
That is a kind of a really faint aqua, like a teal kind of a color. It's right out of the bottle.
So it's basically it's one color, but the other one is just lighter shade of it.
Exactly. All right, so this is the backdrop, the mason jar and the leaf, and then the flowers, and there's another smaller leaf that I add. So again, Callie's mini sets. She has them now. She just relaunched on Facebook. No, at Michael's, these little smaller sets. But if you hunt, you can find them. I've seen them at TJ Maxx.
I think I actually have this set. I bought it before we left the States. I have not opened it yet. Or it's like hidden somewhere.
Yeah, so if you look through her sets, you'll see she has so many the minis. You could do so many things. So this is what I'm using today. So Angie, yes, if you're printing your own, that the plastic that you buy, PL something, I forget what it's called, it's very inexpensive. So yes, you can print your own very affordably. She's not always with us, Georgia.
We don't know where she's at the moment.
Yeah. So Karen, yes, TJ Maxx and Marshalls and here in Canada, Winners, they liquidate products. They were actually 2 weeks ago. I saw her mini set
on Amazon. You can get them, but they are very pricey. The Switchergirl stuff on Amazon, I think just people are just trying to.
Well, Zuwili's store, they were liquidating it. So you guys can check it out if you want to check, because as soon as something, as you know, becomes liquidated, even though it's a cookie cutter and obviously not perishable.
Where would you buy the icing? So I think Marlene makes her own icing. I don't think you buy icing. Do you ever? Have you ever bought?
You can buy royal icing mix at Global Belly.
I think somebody in the comments somebody who's watching will probably know. I think you probably can buy already made royal icing, but it has to be really well packaged. But the mixes, you can buy the mixes where you add the water.
Well, Wilton sells some sort of icing. I've never bought it, but they do sell something ready-made.
Usually, but what I've used, it's in powdered form, where you just add the liquid and you mix it.
So here's the set again, and I wanted to have something here filling this area. So it's just
this
a little
nice green. Is this leaf green, or did you add something to it?
This was one of the drip colors that I made for another project, and I just lightened it, added white to it. So there's not really, I don't know the recipe to this particular green, but leaf green would be something very similar.
So I see. So Georgia works with fondant.
Ah.
Walmart, Lynn says that Walmart sells ready-made royal icing. So yeah, so maybe look in Walmart, and Bilton does as well. I just never use the pre-made stuff. I usually.
Yeah. So now I'm just filling in. So I didn't do the black outline on these particular cookies because I wanted them to not be center stage. They're background characters. They're not supposed to really stand out. The point of these particular cookies, these green cookies, so I'm just shaking it, you see, to smooth it out. That's all you need to do to smooth it out. So I just want to show you So if I was to not have these green cookies and then I'm adding my flowers to the display, well, you see how they would rest? It would be like that. They'd be kind of like hanging off. So because I'm adding these guys here, and then I have this, well, everything can kind of sit nicely. So that's the why. Han, why don't you put your blog up?
What's the cookie recipe? So you can find, I do have a recipe on the blog. I have a bunch of recipes. Sugar cookie recipe, that's the classic. Then there are lots of different ones if you're looking for vegan recipe, gluten-free recipe, chocolate recipe, gingerbread cutout recipe. It's all on the blog. So if you go there either from your phone or from desktop, the first page includes a lot of the recipes. If you are looking from the phone, you have to scroll down because it only allows for one image.
Okay.
So
now I've got my black icing. Get a lot of questions with regards to black icing. I don't start usually with white. I start with my leftover colors. So I'll take all my leftover colors, put them in a bowl. It gives me basically a mud color, and then I add a little bit of black, and you don't have to add like nearly as much food color, and you're getting your black just more quickly and more deeply. If you're adding black to white icing, often you're getting like more of a charcoal gray. So these are the cookies. These cookies are awesome because they're bite size. You can just pop them in your mouth.
Size. Oh, Karen, I'm so glad that you like the lemon, fresh lemon in Royal. I love it.
So this is a 2 piping tip because I'm flooding after
Number
I
2?
pipe. I'm sorry, Han?
Number 2, did you say?
Yeah, because I'm piping, I'm filling after, and so I wanted the black to kind of like still stand out. And so if I would have done a 1.5 when you fill, well, you're hiding a part of the line, right? And it becomes much more narrow.
I know what we need. I know what we need with the kitchen. I'm gonna tell you later.
Okay, and now here, this little tiny cookie, I'm just starting at the center and I'm doing loops, filling in. You see, you're just letting the icing, and I'm overlapping at the center.
You're doing the infinity.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. And then I'm just going to tap it on the head right here just to get that to kind of sink. And that's where the flower middle is going to go. And then for this one here, I'm again just filling in. I like this particular flower. It's kind of a wonky flower.
I love this one. It reminds me of cherry blossom or any like yeah, I like that a lot. Thank you, Olga. I try to look at all the tags when I have time.
So there. And so you want, if you're doing this type of the black outline, you do want to let it dry a little bit, not like overnight, but crust, so that it, you get a really defined line.
But your icing, it wasn't like too stiff. I see like it was nicely flowing. I like that.
Well, if your icing is very stiff and you're piping out of a small hole, you're going to hurt your hand, and like chances are.
Oh, Kathy, we are still arguing, my airbrush and I. Still working on that relationship there.
Okay, so
let's. And they match your shirt.
They match my shirt.
Was that intentional?
No.
No, or you say that now you are planning it all day long. I love it.
That's right. So I just want to show you here the chain of events. So we see here I'm piping the little. I wanted to have like just something going on, so it wouldn't be so kind of boring, I guess. And so this is kind of what I'll be doing. So there.
June, she's loving the black outline. I like that you added the yellow. I like that a lot.
Yellow and purple's very nice.
Purple and yellow, it's just such a nice color combo.
So I'm just filling in this little kind of behind section. And in the wet icing, I'm just letting a few drops of icing kind of sink in there.
and says that the outlines of the cookies have Charlie Brown vibes in a good way.
Yes, well, I've made another platter that was very popular, but it's a top view of a big daisy, and it was in this graphic kind of look. And it's just a different kind of effect, and it is, I find, kind of nice. And so I'm just barely like dotting the middle there. You can see, maybe I'll zoom in. You can see there, it's just a little detail, but it, and then I did, after this dried, I piped a few more on top, give it kind of like a bit of a dimension. So let's switch it up. I'm going to grab this one. And the reason I'm not doing the whole flower is sometimes the icing will jump the line, this black line. And so then you lose your pretty black kind of definition. So I like to wait for my sections to crust before I pipe right next to it.
Yes. Now there's really with the tipless. Hi Sharon, with the tipless bags, you don't really, you just fill them. You can use a. This is a pretty big cup. You can nest the bag in a cup, smaller one probably, and then fill the bag, and then you twist it and tie it. Or if you have rubber bands, you can use those. Or some people often use different things. I can't find. I don't see if I don't have them. Like they're sold like these rubber rings that you can use to tie the bag. That's it. If you're using a piping tip, you can just nest the piping tip in a bag, or if you're using a coupler, you use a coupler, which is a device that comes apart, and you can then use different tips with the same bag. You can unscrew that's it. That's a ring that attaches that helps to keep the piping tip in place.
So, Caleb, you're asking about food color. So the purple is drip color. I find they make the nicest purple. Americolor is my pink and yellow, and green is the drip color. Drip color is also the jar. I use a few different brands. They all make like some colors are just nicer than others by different brands.
So did you say the purple was also drip color?
It is drip color. Purple is a tough one. Companies seem to struggle making a nice purple.
Yes, there was, like I keep saying, the Duff, the charms
and it's discontinued.
His purple was amazing. I still actually have. I think I have his purple little jar. His purple was amazing, straight from the bottle. Then it was discontinued. Now I use Regal purple, and I often still use my old methods: electric pink and sky blue.
So again, for the graphic look, you can see here, I'm using 2 tones of the same color to get like a kind of like just a, looks like, if you look up vectors online, it's like they've got like, to create a bit of dimension, they add like these bold jumps in color. It's not like such a fade, And then here I'm just kind of dotting it up to transition into the light. You see, like that.
Beautiful.
And so you want this to heal down. So there is a color difference, but there's no difference with regards to the surface. The surface is all level. And if you want to shake your cookies, you can stab them like this. Then you don't have to pick it up, and you get it like completely healed down.
I love that technique.
Shake, shake, shake.
You used to bang the cookies on the surface. Now you're.
And now I just shake them.
Yes, you just shake them.
And now I'm doing here on this one, basically, like this petal is the one that's in the front, so there's more of it showing. So I'm just adding a bit more purple on this one, a dark purple, I should say. And if you're scared to pipe next to the line, well, you can pipe close and then just nudge it over with your needle or toothpick. If you want to be really precise, you see here, I can nudge my icing over, and then I'll fill my center here in this lighter version. And you can decide if you want to have like swirling between the 2 colors, or if you're happy to have them be very separate like this. And again, I'm going to do the polka dots just to transition from the light to the dark. There. So that's the tulip. And you can play with it and decide how you're going to do yours. You see there, it caved right there. See that?
Oh, yeah, you can't. It's barely visible.
That's usually because the icing is too runny.
Yes, that's barely visible.
And then now the little kind of a fantasy flower, I like to call them.
Yes, they are.
And here is, this one is in pink. Again, I'm using 2 shades of the same pink. And I find that it's easier to do the dark area that's kind of touching the black there first. And I'm adding the dark on the same side of all the petals. So if you want, you can not, but that's what I'm doing. So on the edge, you see like that. And I'm not going through the whole flower. I'll do 3 petals and then tweak them and then do the other 2, just so that I don't have crusting and I can finish working. There.
This is pretty thick. It's icing. I see it's like,
It's what?
it looks pretty thick.
It is. The pink is thicker. I made it for another project, and so that's why my darker colors are slightly thicker. And now I'm just again doing that dotting thing that I did on the other one, just to add a little of interest to the middle of the flower. And then I'll do my last 2 petals here.
You know, your other flower that is next to you with the yellow center.
What about
Was it intentional? It looks like eyes with, like, you know, with the screaming mouth.
No, it wasn't intentional, but this is exactly the design that I had done on the other one, the other platter that I mentioned that was very popular. I had done that.
It
So
looks like eyes. No, it looks like eyes and his mouth.
I see what you're saying, but it's just meant to be
not,
like.
I know it's not. But it just makes me laugh.
I mean, there are very nice flower cookies with faces, so you could.
Yes. I thought that maybe, you know, you were going that way.
No. But you can. And now again, you see, I'm just dotting this up here.
This could be cherry flower, I think. No,
Could be anything.
Cherry flowers.
Oh, you see?
Yes.
And now I'm just doing the definition for the middle here on this one, so you can just pipe.
Oh, would you recommend doing that as a transfer or no?
Well, you could, but if you're all piping in one day, you know, then it's up to you if you want to do that.
Oh, Sharon also says these would be cute with emojis. Hi, Victoria. Everybody's loving it. Oh, I didn't even read the comments. The yellow looks like emoji. So I'm glad I wasn't alone. But she wasn't planning on that. It just happens.
You know, sometimes things are happy accidents.
Yes, it would be really cute.
I don't always have a plan. All right, so now this one here has had time to dry a little bit, and I'm just filling in each petal. And because these are tiny, like, sections, you might want to have a piping tip depending on your, you know, abilities, just so that you can inject very strategically. And ideally, it's rounded up higher than the black, right? So that it gives it kind of more of a dome on each petal. I'm going to stab it again in the middle where the stab mark doesn't show. And I'm going to just do the other ones here. So the runnier your icing is, the more fluid and easily it heals, but also the flatter it dries. So that's the, you know.
Yeah, these look really nice. They have that good puffy petals.
So now I'm just, and if you want, if you've let them dry, you can dip them in nonpareil or sanding sugar to give them a little bit more glitz. But I like them simple like this. You can see that finishes it off. I'm not going to do this one because the white just went on.
I can see these in like area of different colors.
Oh yeah, like let's say the middle could have been airbrushed a little bit before. I mean, there's so many different designs you could do. Infinite possibilities. And now I'm just filling in the middle of this flower. Flowers make just somebody's maybe under the weather. You have a friend that's not doing so well. You know, these seriously guaranteed to make people smile. Just any decorated cookie, really. So if you're interested, I have my Cookie School group on Facebook, and they're doing a promotion now this month. If you guys sign up for $5, they give me $20 for every person that signs up for $5. So that's really awesome for me. If you guys want to sign up, that's quite a significant bonus.
I don't know if I can. Where are you? I'm trying to see Montreal Confections. That's on Facebook, right?
Yeah, just on Facebook, they're doing that promotion. It's like
oh, here it is. This is coffee. I can't read.
If you go on my Facebook page at the top there, you'll see the link. I actually pinned it in the comments. It's the pinned comment on Facebook. So you see, so you do want to wait for this line to crust over so that when you fill the yellow, it doesn't just melt together.
Oh.
And you can decide how many flowers you want to put on your little.
You want to zoom a little bit? Yes, this is great. Thank you.
So ideally, you're packaging in a box, not in a bag, this type of a thing, so that they don't just fall everywhere, right?
Do you glue them on when you're packaging them in the, like, let's say,
I don't think I would glue them.
In your pizza box maybe or something?
I don't know, maybe a little drop of icing, but I don't think it's necessary to go to that much of a, for the glue. But you can see here. And if you want, where's my, they're over there, my ladybugs from last
yes,
week.
that would be very nice if you still
You
have
could add a ladybug or whatever. I mean, just a pretty gift for, and you can switch up the design. You can make these
Mother's Day, right?
Version.
Mother's Day would be great. Birthdays. Get
well soon or whatever.
Even graduation, if you kind of like make it work with maybe colors of the school or include a tassel somewhere or something of that sort, maybe around the neck of the mason jar.
The back ones, you could splash them. This is where you can also experiment. Like these are kind of hidden, but you can do, that spray, sometimes people spray color or something. You can kind of like speckle them with some white, or you could speckle them with darker green, and it create a bit of interest in the back. And if you want for the mason jar, you can pearl it to give it more of a glass finish. And then if you want, you can write the ball on top, the ball mason jar.
Yeah, ball mason jar. What you could also do, you could do the brushed embroidery without, like, not flooding the leaves. You could do brushed embroidery with the vase. I mean, there's so many possibilities. I love the tulips. I'm very, very, yes.
You like the tulips?
Yeah, and I'm worn by your tulips. They're so pretty. I love that color.
Here's it doesn't show because it's transparent. I had done an illustration to show the stencil of the ball, but it's not going to, it's not going to show up because it's not.
Oh, I do agree, Karen.
Yes, but groovy's fun. I like the groovy vibe of it.
Yes, of course.
So that's it, guys, for today. I hope you enjoyed that.
You have a message from Florence here if you wanted to check it out.
Thank you, Florence.
And before I forget, right, I'm going to.
Yes, I agree. We're paying, but that's like my shtick is bargain basement decorating. Like that's my shtick. So if you want, like, there's plenty of people out there selling, and wanting, like cutters constantly, but that's not what makes pretty cookies. And so that's what I'm teaching is like the beginner kind of thing, and like that you can get it done with
Yeah.
some
You
basic
don't
stuff.
need 1,000 cutters. Although we probably have 1,000 cutters, we always go back to the same ones over
Exactly.
and
And that's it. It's
over.
just
Yes.
everybody has their angle. My angle is like using the candy corn cutter 50 times. It's like that's it. So
So guys, I also wanted to remind you before you guys jump off, we are having a little mini class on Friday. So for those of you who are on Patreon, you can still join us, get your cookies baked and prepped. And also let us know if you would like to join us live and decorate with us live, so we guys can send you instructions how to do that. Okay?
Yes, that'll be fun on Friday. Han is in the hot seat.
I am in the hot seat. Yes.
Oh yeah, you do like that?
Thank you all. That's great. Yes, it's yes, we do like that as well. It's a little less stressful for us, I have to say.
Yes, that's it. Well, thanks so much, guys, for joining us today, and we'll see you on Friday. If you have any questions preparing for the mini class, be sure to write us so that it's stress-free for you on Friday.
Okay, Sally, I will try to find, if I can find it, just send me a message.
Here's Caleb's got a question since we have a couple of minutes.
Okay, on your flavored lemon, do you add one? I guess you are asking about the cookie recipe, I assume. So with the cookie recipe, I like to use lemon zest and also lemon extract if I have, but I always include vanilla. Vanilla is my to-go. Like vanilla, it's like, I feel like it's a mother of all kind of sweet flavors. It's not always used, I think, in certain recipes, but I like to add a little bit of vanilla and then lemon. I would use 1 teaspoon or even tablespoon, depending on how. If you're adding 1 tablespoon of lemon zest, I wouldn't use 1 tablespoon of lemon extract, maybe 1 teaspoon. Yeah, depending on how much lemon you can take, because I can take a lot of lemon.
Caleb's asking also at the top there for your dough.
But,
right here.
Oh, when you're making it, and you say you mix the flour until the dough starts to pull away from the bowl. Do you have a video that shows that? Yes, I do. Yes, so I would. You can also use a hand mixer. I do have a video on the blog and also here on Facebook, which may be hard to find on Facebook. So on my blog, you can find the video, and also there's a video on my YouTube channel. So if you look up Aniela's cut out sugar cookies or some, I think the wording should be like that or something like that. It should come up. The dough basically comes together in like this chunky dough, and then you gather it with your hands, and you kind of knead it for maybe 30 seconds just until it comes into a disc.
Just for the final binding of it all.
Yes, exactly. But I've done it with a handheld mixer as well, and I think Mar has done it too. For the last couple of years, that's what I've been using handheld, and I actually like it. I feel like I have even more control.
Well, if you're using a big bowl, the handheld, you can really go everywhere. Like I find that I can make a bigger batch with my handheld than the stand.
And what I also done the reverse method, I would say, where I have dry ingredients, and then I put the butter and all that in, and then I just mix it until it's like, like you press it with your fingers and it sticks, and then I use my hands. Yes, Buster is overseeing everything. He's been a really good boy, so I let him watch the live.
You let him in the kitchen.
Yes. Okay, guys, so we're going to wrap it up. We'll see you on Friday. Everybody's loving your project. I loved it as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.